Let's get back to the baby.
Okay.
Are you thinking about it yet?
Yes, I am.
Is she thinking about it?
I think she is, but I'm not exactly sure.
Have you two ever talked about it?
We have talked about it, and I'm the.
You're more into it than she is.
Yes, I would say I don't know if this is gay, but my biological clock, my man biological clock is probably ticking. I want a kid.
You know, it's weird that you said that because I had this discussion not too long ago with Foundry Music Jeff, and he basically said the same thing to me. Is this gay? But I really want a baby, as if having a kid. But I don't think it's the same way as it is for women. But I do think men have a certain, I would like to have a child thing. Now, I didn't. My
Really?
chick picked both times. Where she goes, I want to have a kid right now.
Really? Yeah.
And I go, the first one, we were really young. And I'm like, I don't think, look at me. I don't think I can pull it off. She goes, it's what I really want. I said, okay. 6 days later, we're pregnant. For one time, bang, a couple years goes by. She goes, I'd like to have another kid. I'm like, again, what's wrong with this one? She goes, a little too old to cuddle. I go, okay, bing, first time again.
Jeez.
Happened both times. Right away. They do the test so early now. You can tell in the test literally while you're still having sex. They have a test. They'll just show that the light went off. So I don't relate. Now, I always did want kids. I was never anti-kid. But it's normally, to me, the person who does 90%, and that's a lie. It's got to be 95% of the actual physical parenting is the woman.
Yeah, and the only thing I used to be nervous about maybe was finances and how am I going to support it?
That's what a man worries about.
Yeah, but the weird thing is, all of a sudden, I'm like, you know what? You just said we can make it happen. It's like lately, I'm like, I know I don't have that much money in the bank, but I feel confident I can make it happen.
I don't know whether other people feel this way, but when you have a kid, it's almost like a video game where you keep getting new weapons. You know what I mean? Like, it almost feels like when you decide I'm going to have a kid, opportunities start to pop up. And maybe because before that, you're living your life like a child, so you're not paying attention. Where after you have a kid, you're like, yeah, I will take that gig. Rather than before you have a kid, you're like, why would I want to have two jobs? What do you mind?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Why would I work overtime? I used to take it as an insult when I worked in a factory and the guy comes around, hey, overtime tonight? I'd be like, fuck you. But after you have a kid, you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Because then you stop thinking about yourself. But I got to get back to this. To me, it's got to be the woman who says now's the time. It can't be the man.
And that's why it doesn't look like I'm going to be having a baby anytime soon, because I don't think she's quite there yet. But I just really feel like
maybe
I want
she's
one.
not quite ready to stay with you.
I hope that's not the
But
case.
I can't imagine you not going out on the weekends and shit. All that stuff goes away when you have a little baby.
Right.
You have a tiny baby. I mean, the thing is about a baby. You don't do that stuff of, we want to go to the movies. Hey, look at this. Transformers starts in 20 minutes. Let's go.
Right.
It takes forever to get out of it. It's like putting a wagon train together before you can leave the house when you have an infant.
That's true, but there's not a lot of spontaneity in my life right now. It's like I get really drunk on Friday, recover on Saturday, start thinking about the job on Sunday, and then
Did you think about this job? I'm absolutely shocked. I would have lost money on that bet.
That really drunk thing what makes me wonder, too, about you having a kid. Like John Nash would be better around children.
I'm not saying I'm not going to still go out Friday nights, but you're saying there's no place for a father to be able to do that? A dad can't unwind once a week?
And then you're the bad dad. Well, you are at that point, you're bad dad. You remember your friends' dads that used to get as drunk as you?
Yeah.
They were considered bad dads.
Bad to the adults, not to the kids.
Well, the kids would go like, that's pretty fucking embarrassing. His dad's throwing up out front.
Yeah.
But, again, the woman's going to do all this stuff no matter how much you say you're going to do.
Yeah.
And a kid does not, you like your dad, but you skin your leg. You don't go fucking run into your dad. You go run into your mom.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think most sons are mama's boys if they grew up around them.
Yeah, if you got any kind of decent kind of mom, you're a mama's boy. Oh, sorry, Fez.
No problem.
Fez used to actually nurse with his dad. He would sit there and suck on his dad's dry tit.
And got more nourishment that way.
You never had the biological clock thing, huh, Fez?
No.
Never went to push a kid through your ass?
Never felt the need to, I gotta have a kid.
Yeah.
You know, not even that whole I got to pass on the Watley name deal. That aspect of it never came up with me. I haven't felt a tick yet.
Do you like children at all? Like, you know, when
Look
you
at him. He's everybody's favorite aunt.
Yeah,
that's true.
I love kids.
He doesn't want to do what you have to do to have kids.
So it's more about laziness.
Yeah.
With Fez.
No, not laziness. Pure fear
Oh, I see.
of the vagina.
Shyness? Not laziness, shyness.
I think you make a great father. You're very well organized.
I don't think I would. I mean, I think that I don't feel responsible enough.
Yeah, we always say that Fez, he's not responsible. He's never prepared. Earl, you already also said now you're too old to have a kid.
Yeah, but you know, my biological clock is screaming right now because it's just this real sense of urgency with me right now to really like to find someone.
Your womb is just purring at you. What are you fucking talking about?
But no, like you say,
I see. I go again. I don't think a man has a biological clock because you see these guys 70. We have a biological need to fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, that is what's in our genetic code. To nurture, I don't think is in our genetic code. To want to, you know, what Fez said about the passing on of the name and the power structure of that. Yeah, I think that is a biological cellular thing.
But even if we like fucking, couldn't you also interpret that as, on some primal level, the guy wanting to have children?
Yeah, but that he does to pass on his seed, his kind of ego.
Right.
But we're not nurturers. That's not our machine, you know?
Yeah, I understand
Technically,
that.
we're not set up for that. Now, we do it, but we don't, it doesn't feel natural to us. Mm-hmm. Look at a guy holding a baby. It's so awkward. It looks like he's holding a sack of potatoes. And you try really hard, and you coo, and you really do go with the gimmick. You do the best as you possibly can. But it does not come to us naturally.
No, I always fear that I'll drop it.
Well, that's all we ever think. It's the same way when you played football. What did you worry about? Fumbling. You never thought about it when you played baseball. I don't want to drop the ball. I don't want to drop it. I don't want to drop. That's the way we are with a baby. We think of it as a sport. Here's the Brooklyn Ace. How you doing, Ace?
How's it going, boys?
Hey, buddy.
First of all, Dave, you'd be a good father. God help me for saying that. Second of all, Fezzy, what about baby love? I thought you wanted baby love.
See, baby love, I enjoy, like, holding baby love, playing with baby love, but, like, after 3 hours with baby love, I find myself really exhausted, and I would not have it in me to do any of the things that baby love needed to survive.
I'm just going to say this to you. Bullshit. You don't believe what you're saying. You say these things from an intellectual level, but I've seen you around kids my whole life. I know the way kids feel about you. I know the way you remember my kids' birthdays. I don't. You give them better presents than me. You remember
I listen to
school
them.
things and all that. Yeah. And I'm saying you would be a nurturer, but you don't want to be in a relationship, so you say you don't want kids. That's the fucking bottom line to it.
Plus, baby love isn't your own blood. If you were holding your own little Fez,
I got to agree with him there too.
Yeah.
That's a whole different story. That's the same way with like, I could never go to see a kid being born. I wouldn't go to see somebody else's kid being born, but my kids, it was like unbelievable that I was there. But I don't want. I'm watching the thing in the classes where you got to watch that mountain woman push a kid through her hairy snatch. Like, I'm not fucking watching this.
It was always.
I don't want you to ruin the vagina for me. I have my own image of the vagina, and it's not with a fucking. I swear to God, it was like a deadhead chick just sitting up, fucking grunting and groaning to a kid. That was disgusting. My kids were born was fucking beautiful.
We had to watch that tape in 5th grade, and I just remember thinking, why is it so blue? Her vagina was so fucking blue, it didn't make any sense whatsoever. It was the most terrifying thing.
They shouldn't show that to a kid.
It was aliens.
Yeah, that's fucking sick stuff. I mean, that's sick stuff for the fucking adult male to pull down. Yeah. He's got to fucking wrap his head around that. Because, again, we don't think of the body that way. We think of the body falsely, men do. We have a false assumption of women's bodies. It's fake. The women that we really like are cartoon animes. That's what we think of women, cartoon animes. What they really are, what a woman is a baby and milk machine, which has nothing to do with us.
God, that's horrible.
I'm sorry, but that is what it's like. That is the purpose of a woman's body.
I agree.
Purpose of a man's body is something to carry his cum around in. That's all. That, on a biological sense, that's all we're supposed to be doing. We're not supposed to be building fucking art. There's not supposed to be the Sears Tower and ships and trips to the moon. That has nothing to do with the whole thing of life. Life is to just do it over again. That is the only purpose of life. It's not as all personal as we make it out to be.
Just procreation.
Yes. So Fez's thing is to pull out and say, I am no longer part of my own of my own species.
He's not human.
I am a human.
No, I guess he's not.
You're not following along in the human way.
Right. Maybe I'm defective, but I mean, I'm human.
I don't think so.
Ryan, you're on Ron Fez.
Hey, what's up, boys?
Yeah.
My wife's expecting a baby next month, and on Saturday we had to go to this all-day childbirth class, which was fun in itself. But they showed these graphic videos. The chick's butt naked on the table and just showing the kid coming out and made the vagina look like the Sarlacc pit from Star Wars. And it's unbelievable.
The vagina can get to a spot where you could bowl in it. And that is why men with their how big my cock thing is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Unless your penis is the size of a newborn child, you're really not big enough. This is the truth. The way the vagina is set up, there is no woman in the world, no adult woman in the world, the smallest adult woman in the world can handle the largest adult male in the world. Mm-hmm. You could take a midget woman, and Manute Bull could fuck her.
Wow.
There's none of this, she couldn't handle it, Jack. That's a lie that only men say. Women never fucking say that stuff. We're out of our mind. Our entire life, our entire way that we think about sex is all just fucking bullshit from word go.
That makes me feel kind of small.
No, you are kind of small. Your wife was saying that.
Oh.
Yeah.
When did you have that discussion?
I was on the internet. She,
everyone's on the internet but me.
She has a blog called My Husband's Tiny Penis.
Oh, all right. I have to make a phone call.
To what? Get your fucking dick?
Get that blog taken down. Nothing about my dick.
What do you, Botox the cock? What do they put in the cock when they make the cock bigger like that?
It's some sort of pump, isn't it?
No, they actually have something now that goes in. It's almost like a Botox thing.
Maybe like a collagen?
Yeah. The pump just swells it up.
Oh, okay.
The pump more or less bruises it and puts it through that.
I tried to
maybe
pump.
colleges.
Yeah.
You tried to pump?
I tried to pump one time.
Any good for you?
Just for shits and giggles.
You
no.
shit in your pump?
No, it was just it made my cock even more red than it currently is, and it was. I actually thought it was going to explode or like a vein was going to pop. It was the worst product I've ever done.
Darth Vader's lightsaber.
Here's Frazier. You're on the Ron Fez show.
Yeah, I was just wanting to tell Dave that, when, before you get married, or when you're married there, you want to have some time with you and just your wife, just so you two can get to know each other better and, love one another. Once you guys have a kid, it's over. I mean, your lives are pretty much over. It's just for you and the kids. It's no more you and Casey. It's just going to be the baby. And that if you want to take vacations...
Now, personally, I say this. It really doesn't matter whether you wait or don't wait. It's still a fucking crapshoot, in my opinion. But he is right about this. Once you have a kid, you don't have any more, I want to get this, or this would be a great vacation. It really is. I mean, even movies come down to the movies that the kid wants to see.
Oh
TV becomes about the kid. Everything is about the kid. But that could be nice. You could be that guy for a while.
But that's only for the first few years of infancy, right, Mr. B? I mean...
Yeah, but then you have more kids, and you know what I mean? Before you know it, you put together a good decade of fucking singing along with fucking cucumbers or whatever these things. I don't know why. I mean, I don't, and I did. When my kids, I was going like this. I go, this is called Reservoir Dogs. I go, you're not going to, it's told out of sequence, right?
Yeah.
But just let it roll over you. Just go with it. And, you know, because sometimes you're like, you got to watch, like, better movies than the shit that you're watching.
Yeah, that's true. Another thing she brought up was she wanted maybe only like a couple kids and then a vasectomy.
Yeah.
I'm not going for that. I want to jizz.
Yeah, you will still come.
You can still do that.
You can still jizz if you get a vasectomy?
Yeah.
So how does it even work? I mean, I've always heard the
We need to stop your family line is what we need to do. And I don't care what we got to do to do it. I don't care if we cut your balls off. But I'm willing to give you 2. But after that, it's got to stop. We got to get America back on top. All right? And I think that's something that fucking Bush and Michael Moore together would agree on. I think you could bring the left and right together that we need a finite amount of your children running around in the future. Hey, see if you can't find his Foundry Music, Jeff. I'd like to talk to him about his biological clock, if we could. Daryl. Daryl, you're on the Ron Fez show.
What's up, buddies?
Yeah.
My wife just had a baby on Friday. Dave, I'm not going to say that kids aren't great and they change you just like Ron says. I mean, everything is about the kid, 100%. Your life just completely stops. Clothes aren't for you anymore. You don't wear Nike shoes. You wear the cheapest thing you can find because every dime you have goes towards your kid.
Is this your first kid?
No, this is the second one.
Right. So you already know the gimmick before you got into this.
Yeah, I should have stopped on the first one, but, you know, you got to make the wife happy. And like I said, I love my kids. And
right.
Dave, you'll love them like there's nothing else in this world. It is your world. But at the same time, man, if you like going out drinking, if you like even having a life, I mean, you know, you don't do it.
All right, my friend. 866 Ron Zero Fez. 866 Ron Zero Fez. Now, Fez, don't you feel like you're missing anything, though? Don't you think you feel like you've missed out?
No. I really don't feel like I've missed anything here.
I'm going to say bullshit because I think I've missed out on not just being single my whole life and running around like Jack Kerouac. You know, like, no matter what path you've chose, you feel like you missed something. But
yeah.
You know you've missed fatherhood.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I've got nieces and a nephew and...
Not the same. I got nieces and nephews, and it's absolutely not the same.
And I feel like I've any sort of joy out of children, I feel like I've gotten that out of, friends' children and my family's children.
Earl, do you feel like you've missed out? You've missed out?
Completely missed out.
Thank you for being honest. It is not the same thing to have nieces and nephews. You've got nieces and nephews.
Yes.
And you know what they do? It's just... It's not, sometimes your nieces and nephews will go, 9 months, a year, you don't hear from them. You don't hear from your kids. I don't care if they're adults. You're like, where the fuck are you?
Yeah.
That kid could be 45, and you're like, seriously, you got to fucking let me know where you are. I don't want to fucking read about you in the paper.
And you're not an authority figure to your nieces and nephews the way you could be with your own child and be a true mentor to them.
Because you're not part of their life. You're the outer ring of their family, but you're not the inner part of their family.
Exactly.
We got Foundry Music, Jeff. He's got himself in a dilemma. He honestly wants a baby, and his wife is maybe not ready yet. How are you, Jeff?
Hey guys, great job last night.
Tell me right now how this thing came up between you and your wife.
There's 3 reasons I want a kid.
Yeah.
Number 1, for the tax write-off.
Right.
Number 2, I am very lonely in my house because my wife doesn't like to do the things I like to do.
Right.
So I want, like, a pal that, we can do the things that I like to do, like go out to the movies, play video games, things like that my wife is really not into. And number 3, I want to see how well I could perform as a father. I really think I could do this. I think I could do this better than most.
All right, let me just say this, though, where I got you, where I think you're already screwing up, okay? That's on number 2. Because you don't do the things that you want to do and have your little pal do it. You end up doing what they want to do. I mean, if you want a ball player and you get a painter, you better start becoming interested in painting and going to the art store and buying stuff instead of putting a baseball mitt in the goddamn kid's hand, because that kid's going to end up hating you in the long run.
Yeah, I've heard you talk about that before, and I disagree. I think having kids is a selfish thing, and it's really only to please yourself. And they're like a little thing you can play with and teach it to emulate you.
You have never seen anyone... We talk about holding court. No one takes over a room like a baby. You walk into a place with a baby and everyone's focused on a baby. I don't know what it is, but that baby starts to cry. You're in 300 people in a theater. The baby starts to cry. Everybody's focused on the baby. Why is the baby crying?
Everyone then looks at you if the baby is cute. If it's an ugly baby, they don't want anything to do with you. They couldn't be 25 feet closer to you.
The reality of it is, with a baby,
everyone wants to know you. So
even ugly babies are pretty damn adorable. I mean, I see those ugly little toddler kids that are wearing big, thick glasses. I love them at that age. I think a kid with glasses and or a really fat kid or an overly skinny kid or any kind of amputee babies. I love to see a kid just hobbling around on a little fake leg, how fast they go. I want
to see if my kid will be good looking, because everyone says I have such an ugly face.
Right.
To see if I can produce something beautiful.
I think your wife is totally right not to be behind this.
Seems like all the right reasons, though.
Is she dead set?
I'm a deep well of love.
Is she dead set against having a kid with you, or just now? Does she just not want the kid now, or not at all?
Well, first she has to have sex with me. I haven't had sex in like 6 weeks.
Yeah, well, maybe she doesn't want to get 2 fingers up your ass. I don't know. I don't know what's bothering her. How long do you think you guys...
over here. I want to release. I want to have kids, and she doesn't want to give me what I want. I don't know why.
All right, Jeff. Thanks, buddy.
Bye-bye.
How long do you got to wait?
She wants to wait for another year, and I want to go pretty soon. I want to go immediately.
I mean, this way you'll be having a kid in about a year if you start trying now.
And I'm a pretty...
And with your thin cum, we don't even know if you can have it.
Right?
This guy comes Evian. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a scientist. But you ought to come in a beaker. And I know a beaker's a little wide for you, so you might have to jack it to it. But... And then take it, have somebody take a look at it. You ought to do that now before you even try.
I agree. Even my wife brought that point up a couple nights ago.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to get concerned about what I'm eating or drinking or whatnot, because it was extra thin. It was more translucent than even translucency.
Usually it comes out, it's like when you're a bicycle pump. Just
yeah. And you can see, it's so clear. It's distressing.
Here's Steve. Steve, you're on Ron Fez.
Yeah, what's up, guys? I'm a young guy. I mean, I always wanted to have children, but, my problem is I really don't see myself, being successful at marriage. I want to just have kids and not be married. I think I'd be a good father, but a terrible husband. Like, what do you do? Like, I'm so confused, man.
They say that the best thing that you could do for a kid is to love their mother. That's the one thing that you could do. And it's the hardest thing of all for most guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But what a kid really wants out of the father, bring home some money, and love their mom. And then that's all you really got to do to pull it off. No one gives a shit whether you're teaching the kid how to fucking tie shoes or fucking take a grounder. All that stuff has nothing to do with life. Jeff's thing about I want to have the kid do the things I want to do. That's like the guy who takes his kids hunting when they don't want to. You know what I mean? Like, that guy is never liked by the kids.
He sounded like he wanted to have a little brother, not a kid.
Well, even a little brother, the kid will eventually rebel.
Yeah.
You didn't want to do the things that your older brother wanted to do.
Right.
My older brother is different from me. The things that when I got along with my older brother best, when I was little, my best memories is when he came and supported something that I was interested in. Mm-hmm. When he showed up at, one of my games, when I know that he wasn't into baseball. And I looked over and that was my big brother. I was very fucking thrilled. That's all he had to do was show up and then actually do then my other things that I love my brother the most about is when I saw him doing things that he really liked and the fucking chicks that he got. I would fucking lay there and going, I cannot believe the fucking chicks, he's like 7 years older. He brought women through the fucking house. I'm like 10 going, this is amazing. I hope some of this rubs off on me. Here's Matt. Matt, you're on Ron Fez.
Hey guys, it looks like Jeff almost wants to do it because it's like a novelty or like a project. You both just touched on.
I thought he was being a little defensive and hiding behind jokes. I didn't think he was really being true there.
Well, yeah, but what you just said about like not wanting to do what your parents do, like I mean, once the kid's like 8 years old, he's gonna be like, "Look, Dad, I don't want to do this."
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not just about what he wants
Or they
to
do it and hate you for it. You know, like I know some of this stuff that my parents said, "Come on, you'll like this," and I ended up not liking it, you know. And this is going to shock you guys, I had somewhat of a rebellious streak.
Really?
Yeah, somewhat of a rebellious streak. So, you know, I mean, I really did go away from my family for a long time.
Uh-huh.
And then, you know, eventually had to come back, around. And I don't mean even when I was there. I was like, well, I'm not part of this. I'm forced to come here, but this has nothing to do with me. So it's fucking tricky. I mean, you know how easy it is, how tough it is to be a son?
Yes.
It's tough to be a father, too. There's nothing in that whole link that there's an easy part of it.
Yeah, there's no real guide, I guess. But like when my parents would want me to do something that they wanted, I usually would go kind of the opposite way. Like my dad wanted me to become an artist. He wanted me to become a cartoonist.
Right.
Because I used to draw little smiley faces and stuff on my kindergarten notebook.
I saw the stuff you draw. You're terrible.
Right.
You were right to rebel.
Unfortunately, it hasn't evolved since I was 6, but because I would do that, he tried to enlist me in art lessons.
Right.
And like it was the most painful thing I ever did in my life.
But see, that's the thing that you try to do for your kids. You're like, hey, I see that you like dinosaurs, you know? And you fuck up like that all the time.
Want to be a paleontologist?
Yeah, you fuck up like that all the time. You really do. And you don't want to, but
I guess those are loving mistakes.
they are. Most mistakes are.
Yeah.
You know, most mistakes. And that's what you realize as, like, you have kids about your own parents. Later, you're like, you know, oh, I see why we didn't take the Disney World vacation now. We didn't have the cash. You know what I mean? And then when you're little, you're like, hey, why don't you just go to the bank, get the money, and then we'll have it. You know, so, again, none of this shit's fucking easy. Let's do this. Don't have kids.
No, I want to really badly. You know what it is? You actually brought up some good points, but I want to yearn for someone who maybe is different from me. Like, I don't want to, except for baseball, which I demand my child to play, in all seriousness. Besides that, I want to have another.
Why do you want them to play a dead sport? You know that little leagues are folding all over the country, too?
Really?
Yeah. The demand isn't there anymore. I guess that they like putting the kids in soccer. It's a little less stressful because you got to admit the spotlight really is on you in Little League.
Yeah,
you know, that fucking ground ball is rolling the third. That kid better come up shooting and firing.
Like one of my teammates, Tommy, and his brother Ryan were twins, and they never made contact in the 2 years in their Little League careers. And every single time they would bawl, they would cry so hard. It's like, Tommy, Ryan, this is like the 45th time you've struck it out.
You blow.
In 2 weeks.
Right, you're a terrible
Don't get
kid.
so upset, you know?
Shake it off.
You're not costing us the game.
You're one of the bad kids.
That's it. We hide you in number 9 slot.
Yeah.
Big deal.
We'll factor it in.
Did they share a position, too? Where, you know, all right, Tommy, you're out, Ryan, you're in.
Well, they both played right field.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
You're fucking switching off. You and 2 more kids. You try to put 9 fucking kids in that right field slot if you can. Here is, let's go to Avi. Avi, or Ron Fez.
Hey, guys, how you doing? I got a little advice for the guys out there. Earl, maybe this for you also. But single mothers, if you want to know what a father experience is like, do that not just for like a couple of weeks, you know, like for a couple of years, and that'll give you a nice feeling on how fatherhood is. I did that when I was 19.
Yeah, but here's the problem with that. Then you're into that about a boy thing, you know, where when you date that single mother, all of a sudden you got this little pal, this kid who's looking up to you.
Yeah.
And then you're not getting along with that kid. Then you lose that, you know, I mean, you're not getting along with that mom. When you have nothing to do with her, you don't have like any father's rights over that kid.
Yeah, and that does hurt.
Yeah.
So I was kind of in that situation.
Oh,
when my chick had her, it was her nephew, but my ex had her nephew, and I really liked him, but I didn't like her anymore.
When you said you were in that situation, I thought you meant when Beanie was dating.
With the, but yeah, you know exactly what that is. I mean,
yeah,
you're
it was very
starting
hard.
to be like, right away, you're like, hey, you know where we're going Saturday? Water park, everybody. Water park.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah. And that's what we're going back to Fez's thing. When that mother, took those kids home, you didn't feel like I've lost the kids, so you didn't have the full fatherhood experience.
Okay, I see what you're saying, yeah. But also on the other side of it, I feel like that's the best I can do is pull off the water park.
That's because you've never tried it. Nobody thinks I'm going to make a decent father. You're forced into it by women, and then you see what you can pull off. I mean, if everybody who didn't feel like they couldn't do it didn't, you wouldn't have any children.
I know it's going to be hard, and I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
But I just feel like I really want to make that effort. I don't know what something inside me is telling me to do it for.
Here's what I understand, but it really comes down to this. And this is why the pro-choice thing makes sense. It really is up to the woman and the guy to support her. Whether she doesn't want to have kids, whether she does want to have kids, whether she wants 1 or 3, it really is her path, and we're just walking that path with her. It's never really our fucking path. Right. That's the weird thing about it. And that's the thing that they won't even tell you.
That they're in total control.
Yes.
Man, they have so much fucking power.
Yes, because it is about them.
Yeah.
It is about them. They are the vessels of the next generations. We are just there to support that, one way or the other. Now, we can act like I want to do this and that, and it really is up to them. And really, the kids are raised by the woman, not the man at all.
Yeah, but I don't think that's fair in a certain way, because we're both married. We're both supposed to. I'm not even saying me. Hypothetically, a man and woman.
You're both responsible.
Yeah,
all those things are true, and yet because she's the mother, it really is hers. That's the thing.
But it's my sperm.
So what? Look what you've done with your sperm over the years. Your sperm's all over the fucking place.
It's been in plastic.
Yeah, everywhere.
A dog.
Jelly, a fucking dog. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Okay. No one has this thing about their sperm. And I honestly think, how the whole PMS and women get crazy and blah, blah, blah. I think every time it's because they're not pregnant. I think every single time they're freaked out by that. It's on a cellular level. It's not an intellectual thing, but I think their body's fucking freaking out that they're not pregnant. I think that's where the whole PMS thing comes from.
That would make sense. The body weirding out that it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. Like there's something missing.
Fred, you're on Ron Fez.
Hey, what's up, fellas? Dave, you should have a baby. Jeff is delusional. That fucking rubberback limbo doing motherfucker. You're not gonna have a buddy, Jeff. Well, by the time he's old enough to talk, he's gonna want you to take him and his friends somewhere, if it's a boy at all. It's endless. I have committed so many weekends to just taking my kids from point A to point B instead of enjoying my life. And me and my wife joked for years. When they're 18, everything will be great. Yeah, now I'm paying fucking $25,000 a year in college.
Right.
It's just fucking terrific.
Nothing ends at 18.
Endless.
That's fucking bullshit.
It's a lifelong commitment that is just endless. And I never thought I'd be a good father. But when you have the baby, you just got to do what you got to do, and you make it right. Either you make it right or you fuck it up.
Right.
And that's the two choices you have. Dave, you'll be fine.
All right. And,
all it takes is love, man. You got to be there.
The whole thing, too, that's kind of funny about that, I just want a little buddy to do what I want, blah, blah, blah. I mean, if we were going back to the cellular thing and the real nature thing, the baby's fucking job is to replace you. The male baby, specifically, is to replace you. So basically, from the point on that you're looking at your baby, you're looking at your own death. You know what I mean? You are looking at the end of you, your ego, your physicalness, and saying that you are now just part of pushing the species along.
So these babies are like little competitors with us,
well,
at least with males.
Hopefully, not only will they... It's up to you if you want to compete and be the asshole dad. What you want to do is make that kid, strong enough to go on and surpass you. That would be the idea thing to be. To not compete, but to be there in a way to make that kid the best person that he could be for himself and his own things. And so that, the whole thing can keep going on.
That's why they say, like, a real father always wants their kid, their son at least, to, like, make more money than they do. Mm-hmm. It's because they want the legacy to be even better.
That's the stupid ego point. Right. But beyond things like money and the legacy is to be a better person, to be a better member of the species. That would be the real dream. That's the real point.
That's my dream for me, seriously. Little Davy.
You just better support the chick, though.
I'm going to try.
No. Rob, you're on the Ron Fez show.
Hey, buddies, how you doing?
Yeah.
Truth of the matter is that parenting is all just winging it. Prepare as much as you want to, but pretty much you're just faking it the whole time, and you gotta.
How's that different from the rest of your life, though?
It's different because there's too many variables. You got another little mind there throwing crap at you that you don't expect.
But I mean, no matter what you do in your life, you're improving. I don't give a shit what anyone says. Yeah. It's all still trying to just make the gimmick happen as you go along.
Ron and Fez, XM 202.